searching for you. I'm still searching for you. From dirt to the sky, I'm still searching for you.
Wake the fuck up, samurai. We have a city to burn.
You disgust me.
Who gives a shit?
Go on.
I made it the fuck up.
I'm in. I'm in. I'm in. I'm in. And it is glorious! And I run. And I hunt. And I kill. Just for fun, 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 just for fun,
I'm sorry. I couldn't resist.
just for fun, 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 just for fun.
Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land. It is so nice to see you again.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, if I sound a little funny today, it's because just before we went on the air, I decided to blow my nose because I'm still kind of suffering. And guess what? I blew a nosebleed. So yeah, now I've got a wad of tissue stuck up my nostril trying to prevent me from, spraying blood all over my keyboard, my screen, my hands, my shirt, and everything else. So yay.
Yay!
Yay! Look at this. I suffer. I suffer for you. Enjoy. Enjoy. All right. We got some fun stuff today. What do we got today? We never did talk about this. Oh, well, first off, let me say this. Yes, it's April 1st. No, I absolutely fucking refuse to get involved with April Fools. Okay? I'm just not going to do it because people always seem to take April Fools as an excuse to put out the weirdest crap. And I mean, when you're a YouTuber, part of what keeps people coming back to your show is that you have news, right? Especially when you're a pop culture show like we are. Yep. So if we find news on April 1st, it's always a case of, well, is this a joke or is this the truth? And, sometimes it's not always easy to tell. And then, of course, there's those assholes out there who decide this is a really good day to pull some really dark shit on you, like, like such and such passed away today or something. And I'm just like, that's not funny. That's not funny any day.
Oh, don't forget the
I'm shutting down my channel.
Yeah. Everybody always does that one. I'm shutting down my channel. April Fools. Ha. Yeah, whatever. So I'm not even going to participate in that shit. So,
well, the thing is, it's not that it's not funny. It's been done a million times at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's like let's just move on past it. Okay, it's like it's in 5 hours. It'll be April 2nd. So all I got to do is last another 5 hours and ignore the April 1st crap. And I have plenty of stuff to help us do that with. And Savo, good to see you. Das Wolfen, hi, bud. I've been watching some of your streams, buddy. Tapani, good to see you too. Thought it was an early April Fool's joke, but Catalyst really is coming out with BattleTech. That's exactly what we were going to talk about. Yes, thank you very much for guessing our very first topic. We really hadn't had much to say about this yet, because I wasn't sure if it was a joke, but evidently it is not. BattleTech Gothic is a real thing. They have miniatures leaked for it. How do you feel about this?
As someone who has given Catalyst his share of money, as someone who has backed their campaigns and has seen many a fellow mech warrior grow frustrated with certain products not being delivered, it's rather frustrating to see that time and resources were put into projects like this that could have gone into what people have already paid for, what has already been promised, and frankly, what is the core, element of what people want. They want the big stompy robots. They didn't want us to have these genetically modified monsters in the world. They're putting out products that people aren't asking for.
Well, I mean, I guess they thought that their product was getting stale and they had to inject some kind of a new element out there and see if it sticks. And I don't know. I'm an old school BattleTech player from way back in the day. We used to play it in the cafeteria up at school during lunch and before school.
True.
And, we would get together on weekends sometimes to play it. And it was fun, and I enjoyed reading all the histories, and, I love all my technical manuals. But, I don't think necessarily the BattleTech series has lost its legs. I think they still have plenty of IP they can mine in their main material. But this is like some kind of a weird alternate universe offshoot that I don't necessarily think is the worst idea. I mean, I'll just be honest.
But the problem is, right, BattleTech is a universe that has a rich history of houses where each one of these mechs has a whole history to it. Like, we know the history of these mechs from, the Mackie.
House Kurita.
Exactly. There's so much lore, there's so much mythos here that they're going to go and throw all that away and try to do some ever so slightly different stuff with it to try to get people to buy onto this when, the stuff that the few things they are able to get out to shops, to the hobby shops, collects dust on the shelf. It's the ultimate problem is they don't know how to market the game.
We got some comments here, but yeah, this is from Catalyst Games, and this is from last week, so this is not April Fools at all. The endless war sweeps the human sphere, and you are mustered to fight. But you need to know the horrors you'll face on the battlefield, be they battle mechs, abominations, or the great powers of humanity. This is the Universe Primer to learn all about BattleTech Gothic. The nice part about having a cold is your voice drops an octave as your throat gets more scratched up and stuff, and then you can do that like super sexy deep voice and have all the women crawling at your feet or something. I don't know. But anyway,
Or you could be a cat.
or you could be a cat. Ultra American says for $5. Thank you very much, Ultra American. That's very generous of you. I appreciate that. Says, thought it was already April Fool's Day with the state of TTRPG folks on X for the past week at least. I'm just sitting in the fire saying it's fine. Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I haven't been commenting on any of it because honestly, I don't want to, I don't want to stick my dick in that so much. I poke a little bit of fun here and there when Ginger, talks about being attacked by a crow because it's funny. But, I'm not going to point fingers at anybody, and I'm not going to, yell at anyone and say, oh, you're this, or whatever. I mean, I just, let them fight, baby. I'm like Godzilla on that one. Let's see. What should we give him for $5? What do you think?
Beans.
You want beans? You always want beans.
This motherfucker eating beans! Wait, no, it's not true,
You always love that one. Great work. Does Wolf, and you played Battletech since it was called Battle Droids. This is an abomination. Yeah, me too, man. I still have some of my original Battle Droids stuff. I used to have the original Battle Droids booklet because I got the box set way back in the day. And then one of my teachers tore it up right in front of me. The 80s. Yes, sir. Satanic Panic. That's not a thing. So that's not Warhammer. No, it is not Warhammer. That is the new Battletech, which is very much like Warhammer. Ultra says, never got into miniature wargaming mostly because I want to have money in my bank account. Yeah, no. Now, save all your money for me. Give me your money. I need it. I have car payments now. Magnificent Devil Games Workshop powering up their legal department as you speak. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. They're going to be going over that with a fine-tooth comb, I'm sure. It's going to be like a repeat of Nintendo and Pocket Pal, or Pocket Pair with Pal World. Pocket Pal. That sounds dirty, doesn't it?
I mean, we're let's be honest, we're gonna play it either way.
True, we are. There is plenty there, but they canceled all their best writers for being problematic. Yeah, I know. And I hate to say this. Okay. So, you guys know I experiment with AI to play games with, right? And what I did just for fun over the past few days is I would talk to Chat GPT and talk to it about what kind of worlds I wanted to build. And Chat GPT not only came up with a world, it also came up with factions, personages, and all this other stuff for me almost instantly. To the point where
No, so I'm sorry, go ahead.
I mean, I pretty much didn't have to do anything. I could just take it part and parcel. If I wanted to, I could spin about, 100 new IPs just based on what ChatGPT spews out. So this Battletech Gothic kind of does remind me of a ChatGPT idea.
The other part about this that's irking some people the wrong way, and I'm not sure how much of this is just kind of whispers in the grapevine, but one of the people, it's being said that one of the people who did get the job of writing for this was one of the individuals who had chased out Blaine Pardoe from Battletech.
Oh.
Which is a whole story in and of itself of a bit of cancel culture for what was, based on everything I saw, complete nonsense.
Of
They
course,
just didn't like
'cause
they didn't like the guy, they didn't like his politics, so they had to chase him out, and it was a case of he had to sue the person to try to get them to leave him alone. When that did not work, it turned into like now I'm going to ruin his career.
isn't cancel culture wonderful? Aren't you glad that we're finally coming out the other side of it?
Sadly, some of it will remain around.
I do kind of worry that it's going to go the other direction, but we'll see.
Well, I'm not so worried about it in that direction because it seems like the right is very quick to kind of self-cancel themselves. I mean,
Yeah, kind of.
Well, I mean, just after 2022, after that whole election cycle, it really what it is after every election cycle, you'll see the right tear itself apart. Now that they've either won or lost, it's time to cut themselves down and try to reassess. And hey, we happen to be seeing that with like Daily Wire right now.
Point. I can't say I'm a big fan of the green color scheme thing that they've got going on. I'm sure they're going to have an explanation for it, but I hate it. It looks gross.
Also, what about this is Gothic exactly?
Well, the only thing that's got me about it is I'm sure Games Workshop is probably looking at this too. You know, Games Workshop had a game called Battlefleet Gothic. And, you know, Battlefleet Gothic, if you've seen the Warhammer ships, they look like flying castles and stuff like that. So I'm sure nobody at BattleTech was that original. They just said, oh, there's a game called Battlefleet Gothic. Why don't we make BattleTech Gothic? And came up with this. And I don't know if, you know, I don't know how well it's going to be able to fly or not. I mean, I don't think they can trademark that name, so we'll see. Savo says, I'm working on a sci-fi project and I was told to look up BattleTech lore in addition to others for inspiration. The Black Pants Legion channel does wonderful videos for it. Oh, okay.
Absolutely. Tex of the Black Pants Legion is one of the best orators on YouTube, and I cannot recommend his stuff enough.
I will have to check them out.
And I will say for you, T-shirt, he does the videos from the perspective of he is a historian within the universe, telling like basically doing like a class dissertation on the history of, you know, like just a specific battle mech or a specific element of the faction, the mythos.
Yes, but can he tell me about the Kentares massacre?
Probably.
That is actually cool because BattleTech had some super deep lore, and it went on and on and on. BattleTech got weird when they brought the clans and Comstar into everything. But
yeah, you phone those, Ducko.
Yeah, basically. But you know, we all adapted. We got to loving it, and you know, it did bring us probably everybody's favorite mech. The one that replaced the Marauder, which was, the Timberwolf.
Mm-hmm.
So,
or the Mad Cat for us inner spherers.
Yeah, the Mad Cat. Everybody loved that thing. I loved it. Before that, the Marauder was my favorite.
Personally, I'm more a fan of the Archer. That's my battle mecha choice. I want a missile boat that is going to explode like the sun if you so much as look at it the wrong way.
When I started out, I liked the Warhammer the best just because it was carrying so much firepower. I thought, oh yeah, this is the way to win. And then it was kind of like, oh, guess what? The heat on this thing is crazy. You can't fire those PPCs every single round. Swoon. Yes. Driving with Dragons. Daniel says, you can all breathe easy. The new ruler of the Brosar is here. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that, you know? I haven't heard from Jeffro in a while. I should probably see what's going on. It says 12 people, 4 likes. Get off your butts, folks. Yeah, definitely. Get some more people in here. Duzwolf says, wouldn't surprise me if this was all Chat GPT. I mean, I'm telling you, all I had to do was tell Chat GPT, hey, I would like to build, like a cyberpunk dystopia. And it immediately came up with all these different factions. It came up with an undercity, an overcity, and all this other stuff, and how the culture was built up, and all this crap for me. And I'm just kind of like, dang, man, this really takes all the work out of it, don't it? Kind of like, if other game designers catch on to this, we're going to see thousands of, Chat GPT generated worlds and settings. And, I would almost not be surprised, Ironcaster, if Grim took all of our ideas that we fed him for Fabula Ultima, fed it into Chat GPT, and came up with everything he needs to run a world. Seriously.
That's not
I hope he doesn't, but huh?
Oh, so that's not a bad idea. Oh, and I sort of effed up, and I closed out my character sheet without saving it completely. My character sheet's at the end.
Oh.
I've got some stuff in progress, but there's a couple things I gotta go and touch back up on.
Yeah, for those of you guys who don't know, on Sunday, we sat down and we went through all the Fabula Ultima world creation rules and character creation rules, just to get a feel for how it's supposed to run and everything else. And Jim said, we're going to play this until we don't want to play it anymore. So that makes me very happy. So now I don't have to worry about a one-off every week. And it's not that I don't like the one-offs. Some of them are fun, but like some of the games that he wants to play are just like, I don't want to play that. And I feel bad turning him down because he's my friend. And, usually I have a good time, but you can't really get invested in it, and you can't always learn that much about a game from one session.
Well, the other part about it as well is there are certain games which really benefit from doing more than just a one-off. Where, like if especially if it's something level-based, you want to get a level or two under your belt to kind of see how the game progresses and what you can learn from that process.
Exactly. Yeah, because it's no fun. Even if you have a good time and you succeed and you do well, like we did at the very first Fabula Ultima game that we play tested, there's that desire to go on and continue to see how these characters develop in this world and see what your character could become based on what you picked. And you don't get that with a one-off, and it's very frustrating. So when I was playtesting games, it would annoy my players that we wouldn't go for full campaigns or anything. But I told them, I said, look, we'll do 3 sessions of this game, and then afterward, you could tell me what you think. And that usually worked out pretty good, because by three sessions, you have a pretty good grip on the system, on whether you like it or not. But that's just my experience. See the left canceling themselves more than the right canceling them. Yeah, well, we do. It is gothic because they put spikes and skulls on it, yes. Comstar was always there, but they were AT&T with tech priests. Yeah, no kidding. Mm-hmm. Oh, you meant you. You announced today that you've been the secret leader of the Bro SR all along. Oh, you're doing the April Fool's thing. Okay.
Oh, he got us.
Oh, he did. He got us, man. Here, Daniel, this one's for you. Okay, just...
No. Just no.
They have to be careful because AI-generated content is not protectable. No, it isn't, but if you take the idea that AI gives you and you rename it and you rework it a little bit, that's perfectly protectable.
Also, you do have to make sure you can prove it.
Yeah, that's the main thing. You have to be able to prove it. You're definitely interested in Fabula Ultima. Well, we are too. If you're interested in playing it with us, join us on Sundays on Grimm streams. You can see us play it. It'll be me and Ironcaster and Mal and Witch King and another, was it the Dapper DM? I'm hoping Neil will join us. I don't know why Neil wasn't there, but yeah, should be fun. And Grimm has already said that he's designed the game in such a way as to where people could drop in and drop out as they need to. So, by all means, if you are interested in playing Fabula Ultima, join us on Sundays. You know, have a microphone and maybe a camera and just hang out with us. We'll do it.
Maybe be a cat.
Yeah, why not? You could be a cat. That is a choice, actually. What is it? What, the animal that speaks or whatever?
Oh, that. Yeah, no, that. You could do that too. But no, let's talk about this.
Oh. Driving and Dragon says, I'm more concerned about a lot of real IP getting... Yeah. Well, that is also a possibility. When it starts happening, you know, we'll see. But anyway, I don't necessarily think Battletech Gothic is a bad idea. I don't think it's bad news. But right now, I am kind of at a wait and see sort of an approach. Let's see how it is. Let's see what people say about it. You know, because like, we were playing Shadowrun 5th edition, and we were really enjoying it. And then they announced 6th edition was coming out. 6th edition came out, and we didn't go buy it immediately. We waited. We waited to hear what more and more people said, and more people were coming back saying, this sucks. So we didn't buy 6th edition. And I still haven't bought 6th edition. I still have my 5th edition, and somewhere tucked away, I have a 2nd edition tucked away, if I ever decide to play it again. Because I actually like Shadowrun.
The other problem with this game here is they're trying to take BattleTech and ultimately get into the similar like audience that plays Warhammer. You're trying to, and so you know, anyone who's already invested in Warhammer is going to look at this and say, I already have Warhammer. This isn't what I play.
Yeah. Time will tell. I'm sure Warhammer players get tired of getting screwed over every single edition and having to rebuild their armies all the time after the new meta drops in order to stay competitive. So,
and also I feel like I should mention as well, just because we happen to be on the topic of BattleTech, there is currently a Humble Bundle for BattleTech, so you can get some of the RPG stuff, some of the Alpha Strike rules, so you can come play some BattleTech for yourself for $18. Get the PDFs.
There you go. Ultra American says that all depends on if Grim Jim would even allow me on his streams. Well, Grim is not. You'll find is a very chill person. Even if you don't agree with his politics and stuff like that, as long as you're respectful and don't, you know, act like an ass on his stream and like start trying to call him out on shit, I'm pretty sure that he would let you on. So, you know, all you gotta do is ask. Worst thing he can do is say no, right? What have you got to lose? Magnificent Devil. Yeah, he let the cat on. It's probably the only pussy we're going to see on that show, but Magnificent Devil says the legal protections around AI content are very, very gray areas. AI-generated content may be protectable in some circumstances, and AI-assisted content likely is protectable. Yeah, that's kind of what I think, too. I think if you use AI to generate an idea, but you significantly modify it enough to make it your own, then it's protectable. You know, it's like if AI generates a picture for me and then I go and, you know, blow it up on the wall and I trace over it and then redesign the look of it and the backgrounds and stuff, then that becomes my art at that point, even if I traced it from an AI. Daz Wolf says, I don't play any later than 2nd edition. That was peak Shadowrun. Hey, you won't get any argument out of me. It just so happens that when I got into my 2nd game of Shadowrun, they were playing 5th edition, so I had to buy 5th edition books. and I'm not sorry for it. But yeah, I have second edition. That was peak Shadowrun. Savo says, I'm rather curious which is older, Battletech or Warhammer 40k. 40k is older, I think.
No.
Well, Battletech originally started out as Battle Droids. So the real thing is finding out how old is Battle Droids.
84.
Yeah, 84. And 40k?
87.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
No kidding. Huh. Okay, so yeah, Battletech is older.
Yep.
And Battletech does have a dystopian kind of setting because, as my friend constantly reminded me, you're living in an age of technological barbarism. Oh, and Dazwolf, yeah, he says, 3 years. And Silverlock says, I see Battletech, love Battletech, ordered it as Battle Droids and had to wait for them to change the name. Yeah. Another Battle Droids up to Battletech player, just like us. What were you saying? Sorry.
Oh, I was just say that the first edition of what became the sci-fi universe that we know as was Rogue Trader in 87.
Mm-hmm.
And that was when it was mostly just it was what the Space Hulk game and no that came later. Space Hulk was 91, I think. Okay. Let me rephrase it. Okay. So I got my Rogue Trader book in 1990, I want to say. Maybe it was 91, but I'm pretty sure it was 1990. And when I bought it, I also bought the very first Terminator that they put out, which was basically huge shoulders, tiny little head, and all that stuff. They reproduced it, and they said it was a something or other Mark, like a Mark 6 or Mark something or other Terminator later on. But at the time they released it, and it was basically like the prototype for the Terminators. And it was shortly after that, like I want to say 91, 92, that they came out with Space Hulk and all that stuff that was related to it, and that became a huge hit. I used to have Space Hulk. I don't anymore. I don't know what happened to it. I think it probably got thrown away. Parents don't always value the things that you do. But yeah, I remember it was fun. I remember Space Hulk was hard as hell. So I never really got into Warhammer up until like really the last year or two, where I've started to check it out more. I've been still going through a couple of audiobooks here or there. I was thinking about picking up like if I could find another bundle of the books, maybe one of the Rogue Trader RPGs or Death Guard or
I have those books because I bought one as a Christmas present, and we never played it, but it seemed like a cool idea at the time. And then later on, by sheer luck, I won a copy of their other role-playing game that came out. I think it was from Fantasy Flight, where you could basically play orcs and Eldar and Space Marines and all that stuff all working together because they all got sucked into the same rift or whatever. And because they were all stuck together, they basically had to work together in order to escape it or survive it and all that kind of stuff. Wrath and Glory, that's what it was.
Okay, the Eldar I get, but the orcs, I don't know about that.
Yeah, you could. You could do it. You could play them all together. I forget what all the rules were on it, but I have a complete set of the books that they sent me directly from the factory. And I won it as a prize, and I was really proud of it at the time because I got the cards, the dice, like 2 or 3 books, and then I got a GM screen, and you know what? I never got to play it, so it's sitting in a box somewhere.
Oh.
Yay.
So
The lovely Sherry. Hey, good to see you.
Hello. So speaking of playing,
Uh-huh.
I got together with my 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 IRL group last weekend,
Uh-huh.
and the topic of Stars Without Numbers came up.
Oh, do tell.
Just that we might wind up doing a little one off here or there, and still it's one of those like, oh yeah, the minute I said Stars Without Number, I almost felt the urge to reach for the little shot glass.
You should have. Hey, everybody consistently asks that question on Twitter. What's your go-to OSR? What's your go-to fan RPG? What's your go-to? And what do I always say? Scarlet Heroes, Worlds Without Number, Stars Without Number, Cities Without Number. Pretty soon it'll be Ashes Without Number. And I do that because it's good. I mean, and I've run it many, many times on my channel. People have seen it in action. People have played it with me. They know how good it is. So, Oh, yeah. You were able to back Ashes Without Number? Yeah, I'm excited about that when that drops because I'm pretty sure when Ashes Without Number gets into my hot little hands, I'm going to run a zombie campaign. Yeah, I will. I know I will. Because I'm going to want to see that in action. I'm going to want to have fun with that. I'm just going to have to, cram for it by watching all 10 seasons of The Walking Dead first. But I'm okay with that because I like zombie stuff. Even the bad zombie stuff is good. There are good zombie films, there are bad zombie films. As long as they're not boring, they're good for me. But let's see. Let's take a look at some other stuff that popped up this week. And like I said, I don't necessarily think the Battletech Gothic thing was bad news. It's just news.
See, the thing is for myself, I think it's just that that 2000s glut of zombie stuff really wore me out of a lot of interest in the genre. So I'm just zombied out. Have been for
Magnificent Devil. Magnificent Devil, I 100% agree with you. Godbound is Crawford's best work. It is the first game I picked up from Kevin Crawford. It is my favorite of all of Crawford's things, aside from Scarlet Heroes. The thing is, you got to have a group that's really kind of got their shit together and wants to do that and can figure out what to do with it, because it's almost kind of difficult to come up with challenges for them.
Godbound is one of those RPGs I've looked over, and there's sort of that innate challenge in the idea of playing demigods that
Yep.
I've not quite wrapped my head around from the perspective.
Most people can't.
Exactly. So it's one I would almost like to do like a little one-off, even if we just do like a small little, like have a couple test scenarios just to help me understand it better.
Well, I'm happy to run it again if you're going to be with us on a regular basis. You can't wait to see 28 Years Later? I can, because I like 28 Days Later. I did not like the sequel. I thought 28 Months Later sucked. I'm worried about 28 Years Later, but I'm going to watch it. We'll see. Dazwolfen, you could play a good zombie campaign. Hey, if you want to play with us on Sundays, make yourself available. When I get Ashes Without Number, I promise I will run it. And I hope I can get Ralts to play it with us. I hope. I keep saying that. I hope. I can't ever 100% count on Ralts for anything because he's messed up. He's hurting. He's in rough shape, and I love the guy dearly, but he's in bad shape, and it's never 100% guarantee that he's going to be able to do anything. He may be too messed up to do it at that time. But that's what the Immortals box set for Beckme is classic. Well, I never got to play that one. I saw it, but I never got to play it. And I heard that they didn't get to play test that either. But anyway, all right, on to some other news. So apparently in the movie theaters is going to be what is called Karate Kid Legends. I'm not sure how I feel about this. I of course I'm a big fan of the original Karate Kid series. I was not necessarily a fan of the remake set in China and all that. I love Cobra Kai. All of it, every season of it, even the parts that didn't make any sense, it was still fun. But as a friend of mine pointed out correctly, it kind of stopped being the Cobra Kai show and started being more of, the Daniel-san show. And it's true, but at the same time, it was still fun to watch. But now it looks to me like they are trying to mine that IP for all it's worth and milk it. And I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, I mean, this is the Hollywood system. Like, once they feel like they've got a success going, they want to keep mining it and milking it. And I'm sure there's probably some stipulation around, like, well, they have to put a movie out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Das Wolf, and I think this is the one that's supposed to tie together the Jackie Chan timeline. Yeah, I think so. But like they say, it's called Karate Kid Legends. That tells me this is not going to be a one-off movie. If this movie is successful, there will be another one. Probably with Johnny Lawrence. Obviously you can't have Martin Cove back because, he kind of blew up. And, oh, damn, did I spoil that? I'm sorry. It's been out a few months. If you haven't watched it by now, you're not gonna. So I don't know how I feel about them milking this IP, but on the other hand, I am happy that, Ralph Macchio and William Zabka can continue to get work in their 60s. Those guys are in good shape. I mean, they're in better shape than I am. So kudos to them. I can't really be that upset about that. What do you think? You're muted.
Sorry about that. I mean, at the end of the day, people want more of these characters. And so I think we're ultimately going to see that the real question is going to be how well this is going to do, because I think people have kind of gotten accustomed to watching this stuff, Cobra Kai at home. And now's going to come the question of whether or not they can get people to keep with this bandwagon and go back out to the movie theater.
I mean, it would be nice to have a good reason to go back out to the movie theater. So we'll see, but I hope so. Magnificent Devil says, yeah, the challenges in Godbound are in creating no-win situations, so they have to change the world to resolve them. Yeah, that would be. I always just had fun throwing overpowered stuff at them and either watching them crush it or just watch the look of amazement on their faces when they were wiping out armies with ease or using their powers to do stuff that was just insane. Godbound to me is like one of the ultimate power fantasy games you could ever play. I don't know why more people don't play it, why more people don't talk about it. And it introduced the dice system that I like so much. That only got included in that and Scarlet Heroes and then kind of sort of faded out. I mean, it got put in as a heroic option in Worlds Without Number, I think. But the Fray dice.
Ah, right. Everyone loves the Fray dice.
I love the Fray dice. And, Jim and I have talked many times about what else could you do with a Fray dice aside from doing some extra damage. Imagine having just a fray ability. And every round you could activate the fray ability for free, and you could either deal damage to an opponent, or you could heal a friend, or you could have some other effect on the battlefield every single round. It would have to be equally powerful in all respects, but I think it could work. Just not necessarily a fray damage dice, but just a general fray dice or a fray ability that lets you do stuff every round. Savo, okay, what's a fray dice? Okay. In Godbound and in Scarlet Heroes, all your characters receive what's called a fray dice, which is, depending on what their class is, you get a bonus dice that you can roll every round for free. It doesn't matter what your other actions are. Your actions could be bandaging yourself, or inserting a butt plug in your best friend, or whatever. But you still get the fray dice, which lets you deal damage to an opponent based on what you roll. And because Scarlet Heroes and Godbound both, all damage is done to an opponent's hit dice, not their hit points, their hit dice. Let's say if you have like a 6-point fray dice and you roll a 6, well, that means that's 6 hit dice worth of damage you deal to opponents. And because of the nature of both of those games, all of the damage is splash damage. So if you're getting attacked by a mob of kobolds and you do 6 hit dice worth of damage, and what kobold is like, what, 1/4 or 1/3 of a hit dice? And you do 6 hit dice worth of damage splashed across that many kobolds, you're going to wipe out like, what, close to 18 kobolds? I don't know. My math is not that great, but... And yes, it is possible also to do 0 damage because of how the die is read. Yeah.
Yes and no. I mean, I remember when I played the Philip the Fighter in your Scarlet Heroes game.
Mm-hmm.
Even when I rolled as low as possible on the fray dice, I still did at least 1 point of damage, or 1 damage with that.
It's a good system. I like it. I like the fray dice. And as Jim found out as a mage, even though he had the worst fray dice at a D4, it still made him combat effective because he ran out of spells quickly, especially at low level. But because of his fray dice, he could keep attacking an opponent. And because of the wizard's fray dice, they're not stopped by anything. He could basically do at least 1 hit dice of damage or more to an opponent every single round, and he could whittle down even a big opponent after a certain number of rounds. He just had to survive long enough to do it. Yeah, okay. And Sabo, I 100% recommend that you get up on DriveThruRPG, download the Quick Start for Scarlet Heroes, Godbound, Worlds Without Number, Stars Without Number, and Cities Without Number, and you will see the magnificence, the glory that is Kevin Crawford. Everybody drink. Okay. My voice is getting really raspy. Let me see, what else do we have time for? Oh, yeah. This was so cool. It has to be a happy thing, so I'm going to put this in. This made me so happy to see this. So, we got the announcement for these.
Ooh, yes.
Yes. Evercade.
this is something I had brought to your attention, and
Yes, and I love it.
And well, not only that, there is a little commercial for this if you would like to see this. But
I would.
to oversimplify this, Evercade is a bit of a retro game enthusiast console. And what they do is they produce a physical cartridge that will have many a game on them. Let's see. So they did a whole highlight thing that had like 15 games on it or so, but let's see if I can't get one of the shorter little snippets here to quickly sum this up for you. You know what?
And I'll just keep flashing images of it up on the screen.
Here, tell you what. I'll pull up the little showcase they just released for it, and we'll skim through it a little bit just so I can kind of give you the gist. How's that sound?
Oh, Magician Lord. Yeah, okay.
And I'm all set.
Okay. Sweet.
Excited to hear about. For the last 5 years, Evercade has been on the forefront of retro gaming in the modern age, with bespoke
Oh, Rostan!
on the go, or even for your arcade setup.
And as you can see, they've produced a number of these consoles for almost any type of gaming style you prefer. I have the more traditional console style, which has like 2 little cartridge slots. And the neat thing is they are like hot swappable. So you can just pull a cartridge out and put one in and then swap the games on the fly. But let's jump ahead here a smidge.
Okay. Windjammers, Karnov.
Windjammers is one of my favorite games right now.
Oh, that's okay. Karnov, I remember that. Vapor Trail. This is really choppy.
Oh. So they put these. So these are by and large what you can expect from these. Yeah, let's go ahead and jump up to the Neo Geo stuff we were teasing.
Said Karnov and the theme started playing in my head. Yeah, exactly. All right, so yeah. So Evercade is going to do Neo Geo Arcade, apparently, and they've got some games on there I want already because I used to have them because, yeah, I was one of those people who actually had a Neo Geo, a real one, with the big cartridges. This is what's going to be on, well, this is Super Pocket Neo Geo Edition, huh? So let's see. Fatal Fury Special. I love that game. Last Blade is not bad. Samurai Showdown 2 was good, but man, it was hard. Mutation Nation, yeah. Sengoku 3. I never got to play Sengoku 3. I got to play Sengoku 2 and Sengoku 1. Those are all good, though.
So I guess ultimately to bring us back around to the initial image you showed of the little handheld console.
Yeah, Des Wolfen.
That is a standalone console that will be compatible with the entire line of these existing cartridges. So even if you just want that one for the Neo Geo games, you can go ahead and pick up all these other cartridges. So you could play Tomb Raider on this thing, or the Legacy of Kain. You could get the Atari packs.
Man, some of those would be worth it. Toplin. Toplin Arcade would be worth it.
And I mean, the neat thing is, like, these cartridges are $20 to $25 usually, so they're not crazy expensive. I mean, how much did you drop on Steam this past month?
don't ask me that. I just dropped like $40 on Steam like a couple of days ago because I bought the season pass for Tekken 8.
Exactly. And let me see if I can find a good example of it, but there is a sizable collection of these available. Let's see, let me see if I can find some of these can have 5 games, 10 games, 12 games, 2 games. You get a good little variety of them, and they keep bringing them out. There's a couple of Duke Nukem packs for this, for example.
Well, I'd like to try it again just because there are a lot of old arcade games that, you can play a lot of this stuff on MAME, or you used to be able to. I don't know about nowadays. Maybe they protected it, or I don't know. I mean, if you had the ROMs, you could do it. But there is one game that came out, and I've never really been able to successfully play it. I had to use an emulator to play the Dreamcast version of it. And I finally got it, so I am finally able to play the Fist of the North Star arcade game. Now I just have to get good at it, because the difficulty setting on the arcade games is always like notched up pretty good. But yeah, there we go. It's actually been this has actually been a pretty positive night overall, I would say, for April 1st, which is kind of unusual, but I mean, okay, we brought you BattleTech Gothic. Is it good? Is it bad? I'm not sure. I think it's interesting. It might be good. We brought you Karate Kid. That was good, I think. I think it'll be good. We brought you this, which is definitely going to be good. Look at that. Oh, the Broken Sword series. What else is on there? Ooh, the Data East. We could play two. Is it Too Crude? No. Scroll down, baby. Scroll down.
Metal Dragon.
Yeah. Metal Dragon. Too Crude.
Glover.
I don't remember Glover. Wow. I don't see Fist of the North Star Arcade on there yet. Ooh, some C64 games? Holy shit. Sunsoft games. We used to love those things. Huh?
Plus, one of the fun things is with these collections such as the Indie Heroes here, these are games that are small enough that they probably wouldn't ever have a physical release in any other fashion. So this is the first time some of these games are on a physical format.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some of those arcade games were just not big enough.
A few of these I have. Like, I have the Home Computer Heroes collection here, which has like an Atari 2600 version of Farming Simulator.
You have the ability to play anything from arcade up to PS3. Oh, lucky you, man. Yeah, the emulator community is pretty robust. I have never really been part of all that. But oh, look at that. Right there. There's World Heroes. That would be worth it just so I can get my ass kicked by their bosses. Man, the difficulty curve on Neo Geo fighting games was just like ridiculous. Those final bosses would just destroy you. And I mean, they didn't even try not to. Ooh, IREM.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I think I have those.
I think I have that one specifically.
R-Type. Yeah, that's R-Type. I have R-Type and R-Type 2. I don't have the latest R-Type that they have with all the add-ons and stuff because they want way too much money for it on Steam. They need to drop that thing quite a bit.
But as you can see, there are quite a number of these, and they are in their own way fairly collectible. Where the next thing you know, you start saying, I'll drop $20 for this pack, and I'll get 25 for that one. And I'm like, ooh, I gotta have the Duke Nukem one, and ooh, they did just drop Tomb Raider.
They've got Intellivision games on there. Jesus. Oh, Technos. That's the Double Dragon guys.
Hmm?
Yeah, and Combat Tribes. Yeah, Data East was Bad Dudes.
In fact, if you want to, just to pull this one up to show you, the Technos arcade pack, which this is specifically the arcade versions of these games.
Ooh.
And as you see, we have Blockout, Battle Lane 5, the Combat Tribes.
Combat Tribes was technically supposed to be Double Dragon 3, but it really wasn't Double Dragon 3. Yeah, Double Dragon 2, The Revenge. Then they did Double Dragon 3, The Rosetta Stone, and everybody hated that game.
Well, don't worry, it's not here.
Which one?
Oh, no, I'm sorry,
there.
Double Dragon 3 is here.
Yeah, it is there.
What
are you talking about?
I'm sorry, I had it in my head. I'm like thinking, okay, we have 2 Double Dragon games on this pack, but not all 3.
Where's Double Dragon though? The original's not on there?
It's not. Maybe it might be a licensing issue. Either way, they have some other packs, so we might have like a home console version.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Dazwolf, it isn't a curve. It is a towering cliff. Yeah, no kidding. It's like it's not a curve, it's a wall. But Jalico. Ooh, that means Jalico has Rygar, which I used to blow a lot of quarters on that thing. Man, all the quarters I spent on all the... Oh, look at all the Atari Lynx stuff. I had a Lynx way back in the day. Keep going down, man. Don't stop. Show me more. Give me more reasons to buy this thing.
Xenocrisis.
Oh, wow.
So the fun thing is...
Huh? I didn't know... Oh, there's Technos. Wait a minute. Click on that one. I'll bet it's on there.
Let me pull this up.
Because that's collection 1.
The fun thing is...
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's got River City Ransom.
Oh, River City Ransom was so much fun. We played the shit out of that. Oh, yeah, and there's Double Dragon, but that's the Nintendo one.
Mm-hmm.
And that Double Dragon 2 is the Nintendo one. And there's Renegade. That was fun.
So in fact, you could get both the arcade version or the home console version. Whichever flavor of nostalgia you're feeling.
Well, I would really like an arcade version of Double Dragon because considering all the money I spent on it back in the day, I feel like I'm owed one. But River City Ransom would be worth it. Because that game was super fun.
The neat thing with these is that you can, if you want to, right, you could go get that little standalone, handheld version. And that has a cartridge slot on the back, so you can easily then incorporate these into it as well. So you can then go play your Double Dragon on that.
Just for everybody's knowledge, what does an Evercade actually cost?
So these here will cost somewhere in the ballpark of $50 to $60.
Mm-hmm.
Let me pull up Amazon just so I can get a more...
Okay, well, my next question is, do they actually come preloaded with anything?
They will have some... actually, so you can buy a bundle pack. I certainly did.
Mm-hmm.
That'll have that'll probably have like two packs of games with it. I cannot pull this up.
Oh, no.
I cannot seem to find the standalone console at this moment. I think I paid $120 for the, plug it into my TV.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it would almost be worth it, especially with video game prices these days.
fact, let me see if we can just pull up the.
Okay, so Blaze Evercade Technos Super Pocket, $56.39. And it comes with Double Dragon, the actual Double Dragon. It's the very first one I pulled up. Oh my god, it's tiny too.
$100.
You paid too much.
Well, no, I mean for the console version.
Uh-huh. And then there's all the collections, which are 29 to 25 to 20 to 104 for Blaze Entertainment Evercade XPR with Tomb Raider 1, 2, and 3. No. Evercade Alpha Mega Man Bar Top Arcade. Wow. These are like addictive.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta pay for my car. I do. I have to pay for my car. I can't be blowing a lot of extra money on this kind of stuff, but damn.
This is a whole new rabbit hole you can go down.
Yes. Instead of buying TTRPGs, now I'm buying like old games and showing them off, and people are looking at me like, t-shirt, what is this crap?
Well, on the plus side, it is something you could work into your streaming and do Let's Plays of.
Maybe so. If people really wanted to watch me play old video games and, maybe get my ass kicked, but I don't know. Ooh, they got a Sega Dreamcast one? Holy crap. Damn.
Plus, every month there's at least one new pack released. So there's always a bit of excitement about what we will see announced. And some pre-orders did just go live. So, this is a little dangerous for the wallet.
Yes, it is. For a person who has a lot of interests already, this is a dangerous thing to have. Ooh, and they have... Yeah. Oh my. Okay. Yeah, I better stop. I'm looking at too much of this stuff. I mean, at least I'm not buying those arcade one-up machines because, at $500 a piece, I'm like, no.
This is half the price.
Yeah. I have to pay for my wedding. Allie would kill me if I dropped a few hundred on classics and hardware. Yeah, wait until after the wedding. Savo, it appears that nostalgia is expensive. I'll thank my mom that she had me chasing chickens throughout my childhood. Yeah, nostalgia is expensive. It really is. And nostalgia, it really is catered to us, the geeks.
Das Wolfen, the secret is to try to sneak it onto the gift registry.
That's actually a brilliant idea. Sneak it into the gift registries. The one-up cabinets are very tempting. Yes, they are, but I won't do it. I can't.
Well, the thing is,
where do you put them?
That's the one problem. Is that it is a big... Well, they're not even the full size. It is still kind of a minor, reduced size.
Yes.
But ultimately, you're better off just honestly getting a Raspberry Pi and building that and plugging that behind the TV.
Uh-huh.
Spend like $50, or with everything, a $35, Pi 3 plus a micro SD card and ROMs that you totally own, and
yes, totally,
you'd be Gucci.
Yeah. But anyway, there you go, folks. A nice positive Tuesday night stream, and on April Fools of all days. So there you go. No fooling here at Twig.
Ooh.
Hope you enjoyed. And before my voice goes out, just want to remind you all to tune in to us on Saturday when we have the Week in Geek, and Sunday when we have Fabula Ultima with Grim. And what are you doing?
There might be one last little piece here to show you.
My voice is going, Caster.
It's music.
Oh no. The music featured in Devil May Cry.
We got stuff from
Oh,
Gunship.
But this is from the anime though, right?
Yes.
Okay. I have Ghost featuring Power Glove.
In other words, there'll be music in it that you'll enjoy.
Yeah. I have Last Resort. I don't have the Power Glove remix though. These are all Power Glove remixes mostly. I guess they must have gotten some kind of a deal from Power Glove. Oh, Butterfly by Crazy Town. Like pretty much the only song they did.
Oh, and
And
Evanescence.
That's their brand new song that they've been screaming about and all that. Oh, brand new song by Evanescence, Afterlife on Devil May Cry Season 1. I haven't seen Season 1 yet because it's not out. But I have heard it may be a victim of the woke virus. I'm not sure.
We'll see.
I don't know. I'm that's just the rumor I'm hearing. We'll find out, I guess, when it drops. But anyway, thank you guys all for tuning in. Before I lose my voice, y'all take care. Have a wonderful week in Geek and no April Fooling around here.